Page 7. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. Today all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be parted from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and hatred. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Siddhartha, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shaka clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Siddhartha, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shaka clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the complete, perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Siddhartha, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shaka clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world, to you who were wise and I prostrate. With pure bodies formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, famed in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the one gone to thusness I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy fields qualified with realization, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage. To all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms, atoms, and all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, the flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all seeing, subdue the foe of false, and be delivered from samsara's ocean. From Tushita's hundreds of God's protectors far, to tip of this fresh, pure white heat, word like cloud, all looks on Drapa, Dharma's omniscient King. Pray come to this place, doctrine as supreme merit. Feel for my mind of faith, your wisdom mine sees full range of knowables. Your eloquent speech adorns fortunate ears. Your beauteous body, famed glory outstanding. Homage to you, worth to think of, hear and see. Pleasant offerings of water, various flowers, fragrant incense, light perfume, and so on. Oceans of offerings set out and in vision offered up to you, supreme field of merit, non-virtue committed with body, speech, and mind, which I have heaped up since beginningless time, especially what has contradicted three vows. Each I confess from my heart with strong regret. In time of strife you strove to learn and practice, shunned eight mundane concerns, made life essence full, a protector from depths of our hearts. We rejoice in your powerful great deeds, venerable gurus, from love and wisdom, clouds densely massed in your Dharmarakshita sky. Pray loose a rain of vast profound Dharma on fields of disciples just as needed. May whatever virtue that I here gathered bring benefit to all beings and doctrine, and may it make venerable Sangdrapas essential teaching specially shine forever. Mig me se wei te chen chen rei zi, tri me kien pe wang po jam pe yang, tu kung ma lu jom se song wei dam, gong chen ke pe su gen song ka pa, lo song dra pe sha bla so adem. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus on my crown, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments of body, speech, and mind. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments common and supreme. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness, until supreme awakening remain steadfast. Homage to the exalted three jewels. Thus have I heard at one time the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha on Vulture Mountain, together with a great assembly of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time the Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of the countless aspects of phenomena called profound illumination. At that very time the superior Vishara, the bodhisattva, Bodhisattva, the great being, was the profound perfection of wisdom, perfectly looking at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. The Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra, said to Superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, how should a child of lineage trained who wishes to engage in the practice of profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the Superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, replied to the Venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whichever son or daughter of the lineage wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should look perfectly like this. Subsequently, looking perfectly and correctly at the emptiness and inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Form is empty, emptiness is form, emptiness is not other than form, form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Phenomena are empty. Without characteristics, that is, they are not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement and no separation from defilement. They have no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visible form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, no mental phenomenon. There is no eye element and so forth up to no mind element, up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no cessation of ignorance, and so forth up to no aging and death, cessation of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, no origin, no cessation, and no path. No exalted wisdom, no attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom. And because their minds have no obstructions, they have no fear. Passing utterly beyond error, they attain the final state beyond sorrow. All the Buddhas who reside in the three times, by relying upon the perfection of wisdom, become manifest and complete Buddhas in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the equal to the unequaled mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, since it is not false, should be known as the truth. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Kaya gate gate para gate para sam gate bodhi soha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva, a great being, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that concentration and said to the Superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, well said, O child of lineage, so it is. The profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced exactly as you have taught, and the goddess will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, the Superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, and the entire assembly, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, Gandharvas, and others, were filled with admiration by the Blessed One. In the Holy Supreme Abode of the Dakinis, possessed of clairvoyance and miraculous power, unwaveringly caring for practitioners as your children, homage to the host of the three places, Dakinis. Cha Om Gate Parasa Gate Bodhi Soha. Through the power of truth of the exalted three jewels seed, may all on the side of negativity, such as the four Maras, be stopped. May they become non-existent. May they be pacified. All enemies, obstructors, and hindrances, Shanti Kuriya Soha. The 80,000 types of obstructors pacified, free from adverse harm. May all be conducive and perfect auspiciousness. Well-being here right now. Sashi Bhakti Chukshin Mejo Tramri Ravinchi Nide Daki Yapsuchi, Daki Chonin Kipi Sonaki, Idola Penche Sange Dupashos, Ichoda Sange Chonala, Japsu Padu Daki Yapsuchi, Daki Chonin Kipi Sonaki, Idola Penche Sange Dupashos, Choda Sange Chonala, Japsu Padu Daki Yapsuchi, Daki Chonin Kipi Sonaki, Idola Penche Sange Dupashos.
Good evening, everyone. How are you today? So? Good. You just say it's good. Even not good, we say good. It's a good word. Everyone, set a perfect motivation to benefit all sentient beings. Therefore, I want to benefit all sentient beings. Right now, even if you want to help for others, even if you want to benefit for others, we have not ability to do that. Then what quality we achieve, then we have to, when we achieve Buddhahood, achieve enlightenment, then we have exactly whatever we want to help for others, we know. Therefore, I want to benefit all sentient beings. Therefore, I'm going to listen to the teaching, I'm going to do my practice, I'm going to do my studies, anytime you can do that. This is normal, right? Everybody knows that. But everybody knows that, maybe everybody doesn't do. The one teacher said, that one student asked to teacher, when you talk about benefit for the virtues, of course you are the teacher when you become, we call cheap enlightenment, or so it's possible. Even for me, it become more hope, cheap enlightenment. But when you talk about the negative actions, thoughts, then for me, just forgot. I'm no hope to achieve enlightenment. But even the teacher, you also maybe not easy like that, Therefore, when we talk about the benefit for the positive actions, positive karma, the benefits is huge. When we think, wow. But if there were a lot of the power, then what's going on? I do every day, do my practice. What's going on? What's wrong? You think, right? I don't do bad things this life. I'm not a bad person. I try to do my best. Also, I do a lot of practice. What's going on? Maybe there are a lot of benefits. But we say limitless our life. It's correct? It's limitless. Also, beginningless our life. Therefore, we create large negative karmas. Very, very thick dirt our mind. Therefore, even we do a little bit practice, but we doesn't do practice with Therefore, we like that always. Therefore, the purpose study Dharma is it is possible to achieve enlightenment. If not, try to this life more comfortable person. Okay? This is very important. Then always, for all, we all us, not just you guys, all of us have always very thick negative karma. Therefore, very easy we follow that way. And anyway, do a little meditation. Okay? Today we're going to do a little meditation of bodhicitta. Okay? Bodhicitta means your mind thinking, I must achieve enlightenment benefit of all sentient beings. Okay? Benefit of all sentient beings, I have to achieve enlightenment. Not just myself. There can thought, there can mind, keep your mind how much you can. Again, then if you are valuable, then you need to think about the reason why I need to benefit of all sentient beings. Then you second thought, because they are very kind for me. We Buddhism believe beginningless life. When we there are also 4 different kinds birth. But human beings, then even when human beings we need to mom, then we say beginningless moms, limitless mom. The Buddha's teaching say, if you count your mom to make the dirt is a dirt, right? Big small pills, how you say? Sand. No sand. Dust. Dirt. Yeah, dirt. Yeah, dirt means atoms. We say, okay, 1 mom, 2 mom, second mom. All the dirt is not enough. Count man, countless. Therefore, same is this love. My mom is very kind for me. Therefore, even when sentient beings, when they're my mom, or not mom this time, that they're very kind, then maybe you don't know, your mom very kind for you, this love. You forgot. If you mom, you have experience how you love your children, right? Therefore, same as you mom you like. Your mom likes you like that. Therefore, you can reason like. If you get a little reason why I have to benefit all sentient beings, because they are very kind. Therefore, all sentient beings very kind, directly, indirectly. Therefore, I need to benefit for them. But right now, I don't have the ability to help for them. Then I'm going to taking refuge Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and achieve enlightenment. Right? Then think about them, all the reasons. Then you have something, oh yeah, that makes sense. Right? Then you become more stable. Otherwise, oh yeah, Buddha said that. Oh yeah, Buddha said that. You have not much knowledge, then not very stable. Anyway, 2 minutes, 1 minute. Think about you manifest the mind. Think about benefit all sentient beings. Therefore, I want to achieve enlightenment. That kind of mind thinking. 1 minute, okay? Okay, start now. not think about tomorrow's job. Therefore, if you have some influence of bodhicitta, bodhicitta is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful man. You can see the benefits, qualities. It's very, very benefit. Even Gautama Ragunzave, Tony Teni Pambas. All the eons. Okay, I forgot. I don't know how he said. There is no Saji Jumden Dega, Kanchi Lote, Yapoyamba, Pedojimba, Silveres.
So go on.
Gautama Ragunzave, Tony Teni Pambas.
So the mind of enlightenment or bodhicitta, that is the most beneficial mind that has been cognized by the Buddhas, through their analysis for many, many eons.
And the same thing, Dungar, Joma Dungi, Suzu, Deva Toba Dunga, Sudo Sen, and the Shanju Samaka Tamajas, and the Gombo.
So it is said that whoever wants to benefit others, whoever wants to accomplish one's own purposes, then one should always meditate on bodhicitta.
Karadana Shanju Samsa Jelatiwana, not to the Kangi to take Marisro. Medebi Dunga, Kasodochi. Kanjin Decho, Shadon Kuro, Majadong, and take Marisro.
Because whenever one has bodhicitta generated in one's mind, one will never have any problems. Because all the problems come from the delusions like attachment, ignorance, attachment, anger, and so forth, right? And so when one is generating bodhicitta, which is the mind wanting to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, then you will not have other minds like attachment and so forth, so therefore you'll never have any problems. So as you might know that most of the problems that we have now is all created by our own mind, right?
And it should not show we can't take Ogi any Nansu Sujilam, Takar Mandepe, and the Sujilam Bechachetan.
And of course, there is a condition which may also come from the outside. So and the outside things may provide as a condition for one to generate these kind of delusions like attachment, anger, and so forth in one's mind.
Okay. What is the Shanju Sam that got a tit to come to the Pembazu Pedojo? Then the Shanju Sam got the Lojon.
And so therefore, it will be very beneficial if one can generate a mind of enlightenment or bodhicitta. And for that, one should study about the bodhicitta.
And Shanju Sam Kola, Chisolota, meaning Chimato, Lily Papa Shimashuna, Tangoni Shanju Sam like Tanya Utares.
So when you're generating the mind of enlightenment, of course, you have to make an effort at the beginning, to generate that kind of mind, and then eventually it will become it will become a second nature or automatic in your mind, spontaneous. But anyway, so when you make the effort and then you keep on meditating on bodhicitta, so when you have a very strong feeling of the bodhicitta in your mind, then the sign will be like you will shedding tears, or you will have a goosebump in your body when you feel like that. When you have those kind of experience while trying to generate mind of enlightenment or bodhicitta, then that means you are very close to having generated the actual bodhicitta in your mind.
Anyone have that kind of feeling? Maybe Maureen has. Not yet. I thought he had. When we cry, the cry has many different cry. Sometimes we're very sad, we cry. Sometimes we're very, very angry, we cry, right? Sometimes we're very angry, we cry, right? Sometimes we have very strong emotion, we can cry. Sometimes also we have very strong faith, we have cry. When His Holiness is talking about that bodhicitta, he got emotion, he cried. Because he has very strong emotion, thinking, also understand the benefit in the bodhicitta. bodhicitta. Then don't think, he's always very sad, he's crying. Not like that. Therefore, bodhicitta is very, very, very important mind. We have to try to learn it every day. Read a little bit, 37 row. 37 Buddha, 35 Buddha.
35 Buddha.
Yes, Allah Sotema.
37.
37 Buddha
Practice of
practice.
bodhisattvas.
Okay? This is a very good practice. Then read Shanditava text, chapter 1, chapter 2, and the chapter 6 also, I think 6, right? Also, antidote for angry. How to destroy all our positive karmas. Read that books, okay? And you guys very good. Read the books. Very good nature you guys have. For Tibetans, very bad to read books. We taught to not read books, Therefore, not study like that, Then every day when you get up, try to a little bit set of motivation. Okay? I'm very lucky. Today I'm not die. Think about it, okay? You think you're lucky? People sometimes they go bed, nothing. Tomorrow morning they cannot get up. We can see that, right? We can hear all the time news. News also talk about all the bad things. They don't talk good things. I think there's some good things that happen, right? They never talk. They're always, they're always bad things. Therefore, I'm very lucky today I'm not die. Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, very kind for me, I'm not die. I want to today, one meaningful day. You study one day, then 2 days, maybe 5 days, 1 month, getting better every day. When the Kadamba masters, what they do, when they start in the morning, they put white stone and black stone put together. Then they manifest negative thoughts, put one black stone there. And you have manifest positive thoughts, put what white stone. Count. First time, you don't find the white stones, all the time black stones. Then you do effort every day. One day, you get more. The last time, you get all white. This is what they do. You don't check, right? Do you guys check? No, right? We have no time also check. Therefore, morning, motivation is very important, okay? Don't think in the morning, I have to go walk too much. Don't think that. Go walk. Eat happy or not, doesn't matter. We have to go. Just, I want to be a meaningful person today. I want to, even go to walk, I've tried my best. A relationship, my co-workers, whatever we do things, I want to do best. Then you go walk. Sometimes you have to talk bad things, good things, okay, a little bit. The evening come back. Also you check whatever I did today. It's very important. Whenever you make the negative karma, we don't need to keep a day. If you keep day, then all multiply. It's correct? Multiply. No? Multiply. Can you say that? My teacher doesn't want it. I'm not pass. My English teacher, she's looking. Huh? It's good? Thank God, I'll pass. Multiply, right? We don't need to keep that night before you go bed. Purify. 4 opponent powers. What's that? 4 opponent. 4 opponent power. 4 opponent powers. You got it? If you do the four, what's that? Opponent powers. Any negative karmas can be purified, okay? Can be purified. There one story. One time in India, that one gallon full ordained monk, he broken the vow. Then he went to the on the mountain. He purified, put four appointment powers. Opponent power. Opponent. Okay, you know that. Okay, you just guess, okay? Same as my English. When you guys talk also, I'm just guessed. Oh yeah, they talk about that. Maybe half I understand, half just I guessed. You guys also just guessed. Therefore, then he said, if I purify, I need some science. He also prayed. He have a lot of science. Science. He have a lot of science. Then he come back. He have to go through the big ocean. That time we have to go the small boat. Then another full ordained monk. Oh, you cannot come with us. You are not full ordained monk. Then say, oh no, I already purified. That doesn't accept. Then he said, okay, if my negative karma was purified, then I'm to go walk in the ocean, not chivola, not sink. If it is not purified, I'm sinking. He very strong pray for the Buddha. Look, we call judgment or proof. Proof. Then he walk. Same as us to walk on the road. He cannot sing in the water. Therefore, even there can lot, many, what we call stories like that. You can understand. Therefore, fourth appointment. Okay, appointment powers. Okay, it's too hard. I think she did return. I'm fail. I have to stay again. Okay. Anyway, therefore, okay, before you go back, if you mind a little calm down, okay. Maybe 2 minutes going on your day. Maybe you are not time. But try. You try one day, then next day. The one day, all the time you have automatically come. You don't need to effort because they used to. Okay. And the television kanji ta top shit solve gone dipa shawaya na ta mandaya dipa yo mar thro. I think better to switch on broken English. Go away.
So if you purify any kind of negative karma with the four opponent powers, then there isn't any negative karma that cannot be purified. And so the most important of these four is the power of regret. So if you have the regret, a strong regret for having created that negative karma, and then all other powers, all other opponent powers will come automatically. And so we should purify the negative karmas every evening, before we go to sleep. So whatever negative karma that we have created throughout the day, we should purify them in the evening. So when we do that, we should do it in the presence, like in front of the altar, where you do your prayers, and imagine, that there are Buddhas and Bodhisattvas from all the 10 directions in front of you, and in their presence, you're going to do this confession or purifying the negative karma.
다 남아 생집에 따서야 돼. 근데 다 수수 즉 등로서나 답배 무슨 좀 받지 그러 봐. 당가 싸서 다 두드파면 빼 싸서 좀 줘봐줘. 되노시. 같이 두 콘스 바나베. 여봐고 그러더라.
And so the strength of the regret, that you should have for having created negative karma, and it should be that of having taken a poison. If you have taken a poison, how much regret do you have, right? Since gosh, I've taken this and I'm going to die now, I'm going to get very sick and so forth. So how much worry you will be, right, of having taken that. And so that much of worry and regret you should have having created that negative karma.
오, 근데 수수가 니바 가르치 사야와나 대세 제마체네. 다 상제도 현실도 눈들이야. 요바이 어째고 그래서.
And so whatever negative karma that you have created, then you should remember. You should recall them and then purify them in the presence of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
다 대도 아니 대도 다 니발라도 뱉다. 다 다는 소대. 다 두려워서 대리 다는 중에 두 삶에서 다 탑재를 와. 그래서 다 니마 대리는 소대. 다 니바데 너무티 원 소원이 들어오면서 다네 니발레 럭도 봐. 따라와.
And then the second important one is the power of promise. We call it power of promise, making a promise that you will not create that kind of negative karma again. So when you have taken a poison, then you will be very worried, and then the next thing you will think, so I'll be very careful next time. I'll not, make sure that I don't take this poison again at all. And so just like that, you should have a strong, you should make a strong sense of promise, thinking that even at the cost of my life, I'm not going to create such kind of negative karma again in the future.
근데 이제 수준들로 상지도 저도 자다 된대시오나 다 두수 관계는 ken해져 그러는데 다 아니 아주 누가지는 많이 잘하고 그러왔어.
So in the presence of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, you are making this promise, right? So again, tomorrow if you do that, then you'll be lying, right?
예바이는 다 들이 이제 다 선인한테 제도 말이 제가 맨 삼라요 말했어. 선이 제그래도 이나 들이 다 째고 그러더라.
And so because you're not going to be able to stop it tomorrow, that doesn't mean you shouldn't make a promise today, So you might not be able to stop it, but you should definitely make the promise today.
와. 아니 니발로도 뱉다왔어. 근데 니 먹건데 집에 따와서 다 도 템바지 다 단도도 대체 맨 삼네. 아니 수수 칸데 가려져나 대체 들어와. 남주 제jo나 대체. 근데 매와 얘나 아니 이전 가로 하나 동샤 대바나 야보시라 요리 얘는 때문에 유자 어디 간지 소소 칸데로 가리 좋은 대바나 다들 뭐 근데 집에 딱 로그에서
And so just like you take an antidote to overcome that poison that you have taken, then you have to engage in the practice. So the practice will be the power of antidote. That's the third one, power of antidote. So whatever practice you are doing, if you have a particular practice that you do, then you can do that. So I'm going to do this practice in order to purify this negative karma. Then that becomes antidote. But if you don't have a particular practice to do, then you can do the practice of reciting the 100 syllable mantras, like Vajrasattva mantra, or reciting the name of the 30 Buddhas and so forth.
간지 수수 뒤설라 땜베게 야 자다 제라고 말다 수수 뒤설라 땜베 지체 오르더라.
Or any kind of prayers and mantras that you can recite, you should recite, depending on how much time you have. So it's not like you have to do all of them. You do whatever you can, depending on your time.
야 mambo시와 제는데 mam보데 지야마도 대응하면 마보시네 갈래가 이거는 공로사니까 그러더라.
So try to do good, even if it's a less. Try to do good. Otherwise, if you do too many, too much, but don't do it good, and then if you try to do too much, then you might get tired, get sleepy, and then or even maybe get angry and so forth. Then that's not good.
Right? 근데 된대 되면 아직 파 루루제 되면 많이 예서 something dance 많이 예서다 예서కి చేయమరవస్ 된대 니야라치 많이 거 చేయ가지만 다 많이 예서 거쳐 చేయ면 something dance 되니까 చేయ요.
And so if you are too busy to think about all the negative karmas and before you go to sleep, then while you're sleeping, while you're lying down on your bed, you don't fall asleep immediately, right? Your thought will be going around. At that time, use your thought to think about the negative karmas that you have created in that daytime.
아니 대대는 어떤 선이 지금 뒤에 뭐라야 지금 만으로서 이제는 되는이나 이 차도 요구하는 거로.
And so during that time again, if you can think of the negative karma that you've created, then I was, oh yeah, that was bad. Alas, I have created those negative karma. In order to purify that, I'm going to recite, and understand about that. You can do that while you're lying down in the bed, or recite Om Mani Padme Hum or any other mantra that you know.
Okay? 되지. 아니 뭐 근데 집에 답시. 간지 너무 몇 년번 줘야게 개와치 줘 간지 제 차선 지금 담도고 있어요.
So any kind of practice, any kind of virtuous action that you can engage in order to purify that negative karma, that can become the power of antidote.
그러와. 근데 다 담보된 조바도 빼면서 몇개지 말이야. 조바면은 시작을 만나서 손으로. 조바면은 시작을 나가 말했어.
So like I said, the most important one is the regret. So if you don't have regret, even if you say, I'm going to recite this mantra to purify this negative karma, but if you don't have regret, then that will not get purified. So the most important thing is the regret.
그러와. 아니 이제 뭐 그러죠. 다 땡지다고 세와대 아니 다 된지 득받던 소처나 다야게 쳐도 아니 잠내 검색을 잡선을 잠도 아니 샘제다니다 산적 공부도 그냥 아니 쇼님이 아니 산적 샘제 어떤 소라 아니 뭐 땡지다 그래서 봐.
And so of course it's not just like you have to have the regret like that. Without that it's not going to happen. Because if you have a regret, and how strong regret you have, that much of strong you will have the feeling, right? To purify the negative karma. That's why then it becomes really powerful to purify the negative karma, and that's how it really gets purified. And then the fourth one is the power of basis. So it says like a basis, the base on which you create the negative karma. Either based on the sentient being or the enlightened beings. And so, then for that, you generate mind of enlightenment, bodhicitta, and take refuge in the three jewels, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So that will become the power basis.
What? 아니 샘제는 니제 공부, 샴바 공부. 대파 뭐지 샘제는 사회원자 아니 샘제는 샴바는 니제 공부에나 이거가 다 하는 거로 봤어.
So most of the negative karmas, of course, we create based on the sentient beings, and therefore, if we generate compassion and loving kindness towards sentient beings, then those negative karma will be purified.
그러와. 아니 지야 대파 뭐지 야 산제라는 용어에서 산제라 마기와 산제가 까잡아. 어떤 저와야 산제라 잡는 거다. 어떤 저와는 야 뒤집어다 그러와.
And those negative karmas that are created in dependence on the three jewels, like by not respecting the Buddha, by walking over the scriptures text, the Dharma text, and so forth. And so any kind of negative karma that you have created in dependence upon the three jewels, then you can purify that by taking refuge in the three jewels.
Okay. 아니 gonda 많이 가라. 되잖아. 샤스면 되는 야보셔야 그래서.
And also, it will be good if you can make 3 prostrations before you go to bed.
Are you guys doing? Oh, good. I'm very glad. Sometimes also I forgot. Now, if you do every day, you never forgot. Because when you sleep, just the order you come. Also, the shatawa teya, and that you will give you more was.
And so the prostration will also become an antidote, to the negative karma.
Then shatawa teya, janshano tatawayana, and suzu subo kaze tubati, wanches saja tujibaji. The term is Trandang make a.
And also, it is very meritorious, right? You can create a great amount of merit by making prostrations. So just like it says in the benefits of making prostration, that how much ground you cover, and all the atoms, not just on the surface of the ground, but from the surface to the till it says that till you touch the Vajra ground. So however much space there is, And so whatever atoms of the mud or the dust there is in that area, so however many number of atoms there are, so that many number of the time you'll be born as a returning king.
Okay? Oh, yes.
Did you mention first before all
If you know, that's how to mantra. 100 syllables.
100.
Yeah, but
that's so long.
yeah. If you true with Om Benza Sadom. Okay, Om Benza Sadom, the short one. Okay, you do that. It was too difficult to say Om and Pemel. Okay? Anyway, whatever try to easiest one, better. You don't if you do too much then you try, okay? Then 가로. 그래서 샤서야 돼. 뇽방 아자가 님으로 그래서 나도 아자도 빼면서 있는 거 좀 버렸어. 다 부셔도 되고.
So making prostration will become an antidote to the delusion, pride or arrogance.
그러나 나도 잠을 뭐 지금 나도 아자도 제거로 왔어.
Because many of our problem also comes from our pride.
그래서 나 아주 스직직질 캔을 두고 말아봤어. 많이 삶네.
So because of the pride that we have in our mind, we are not able to bow down to others or accept with others, accept with others.
텐디자 뇽방 아자가 녀보 야수데 근데 다 기접지와 샹사와 정도요.
And always think that I'm the best, I'm the right, I'm the most respected, and so forth, and so forth. So because of that, then we get all these problems. So making prostration will become an antidote to that kind of delusion.
Okay, 텐디자 레카 뉴뉴 된 주번등에 빼야 보여서 샹사야 돼.
And so making prostration, is a very beneficial thing to do. It one task that completes many purposes.
아니 아직 진심지 수보 말로 해도 깔려요 있나? 아니 지 링아 예좀 개그지는 걸 봤어.
And so there are prostrations like the verbal prostrations, or the mental prostrations, and the physical prostrations. So if you have difficulties to make the physical prostration, then you can also do the verbal and mental, or even like if you cannot bend all the way down and touch the ground with all your 5 limbs, but at least if you can just slightly bow down, that also can become a prostration.
그래서 니 말에까지 샤 자리 피도와나 아니 저서 지엠도 말해서.
And also there's a benefit of keeping yourself fit, physically fit. Then if you make 100 prostration a day, you will not have to go to gym.
How many people go to gym? Are you going to go to gym? No? Yes? Sometimes. Are you going? Therefore, prostration is very... I'm just saying, you guys, I'm also not at 100 prostration. But there are a lot of people also doing like that, they do go to the Bodhikaya, do the 100,000 prostrations, if you can come here, you can do 100 prostrations. No one bother you. If your time day, you can come here also, you can do. I'm not just saying you have to do prostration only in the evening. Not like that. You can do any time. Practice you can do any time. 개완 도준도 있어요. 근데 가정에 라이 맞추는 데 원래는 고라 접촉 치세 간도 개와도 싸우고 뒤치더라 봤어.
So you can create positive karma. You can practice the virtue even while you're walking, sitting, or eating. Yeah? And so whatever you do, whatever you engage in, whatever kind of activities you engage in, whether it's the activity of eating or walking or working, make it into a dharma practice. So, and then like also Geshe, he mentioned about circumambulating the stupa every time. Like when you come here, before you come here, go around the stupa and then come in, and then when you leave also, go around the stupa and then leave like that.
Okay, I already mentioned Sunday. Who doesn't Sunday then? It's good When you force you come center, just not coming that. You car park anywhere either way. Just walk around. If just only one time, just one, you create tons positive karma. Tons. Okay? Going back, not just run to car, just one circumambulation. Also, you get a little bit of walk. You need a little exercise. Okay? Whole, we have lots in here, this room. Buddha Shakyamuni, our Lord statues, they all His Holiness Dalai Lama, all the teachers give blessing. We have Kanjur, Tenjur, upstairs my room, Kanjur, Tenjur, lots. Even you go to Saraji monastery, huge, nothing special like that. Same as that, maybe they are more big statue. But same. Then we have stupa, lot of. Oh, I don't know how is that Tibetan also.
So have many holy objects here.
Therefore, it's very huge positive karma, but impulse, okay? Therefore, try to little bit every day. Then we people get more merit, then we have less problem. Okay? Buddha said that if Buddha lie, then we will lie. So Buddha not lie. Whatever Buddha said is true.
So people with the merit, will have all their wishes accomplished.
Okay? Therefore, just we have many different ways to, activity to related to the what called dharma. Okay? Just little bit. Therefore, where am I going? Now I forgot where I'm starting. But then even we talk about the 4 powers, say 4 powers, just say 4 powers, okay? Therefore, even you go back, okay? When you sleep, you think, oh, I have to walk tomorrow. Somebody in my angry face, angry mind, or unhappy mind, all sleep become negative karma. When you thought some positive way, all sleep become positive way, okay? Therefore, you sleep, just think about a little bit. Think about a little bit Buddha's quality, Bodhicitta's quality. Very kind for all sensible like that, okay? What is it? Kanji Nimbo top shiki, Matavi Dibajita, Meva Embaris, Teresa, the Negachamoshiraris.
And so it is very important, to do that practice of the purification with the 4 opponent powers, because there isn't any negative karma that cannot be purified if you engage in those 4 opponent power practices.
What is it? Teresa, Sanji Chumne the Kare. Dibachayamusha, give up Rangasan, the Yosun, Dulusun, the was, and the Suzu Sem Dawajaboresro.
So just like Buddha said, do not commit any non-virtuous action, create only virtuous action. So subdue one's mind, and that is the teachings of Buddha. So subdue one's mind. What it means is to train one's mind, to take care of one's mind.
Suzu Sembate, Suzu Dawajabatna. So
it is not possible to run away from the enemy. So the enemy is there all the time with us. Because the real enemy, is our deluded mind. And the deluded mind is with us all the time, no matter where we go. Even if we go, in the bottom of the ocean, or even if we go on the tip of the mountain, it will be there all the time with us.
Okay? Even you go to inside your room, maybe 2-3 rooms behind, block. You say, oh, I don't want to hurt things. I don't want to see things. But your minds go with you. Therefore, your enemy just come with you. You cannot block. Then and Geshe Thomas also Rangi Shedan Dao Mandana Shiru Dao Tubaina Yanjoya Pano is Suzu Rangi Shedangi Dao Tuga Tere and Shiru Dao de Kazituana Kaji Do Maresaro Rangat Shedan Dao Madana Shiru Dao Tushim Pamajer. They should Shamdani Mapungi Ranjit the Vajasala in.
And so if he says that, Bodhisattva Thomas Sampo said in his 37 practices of the Bodhisattvas, if we don't overcome the inner enemy, the hatred and so forth, then there is no way we can overcome the outer enemies. Yeah? So with the army, of loving kindness, compassion, overcoming the enemy, of the hatred and so forth, is the practice of the Bodhisattvas.
Then the Suzu Sem Kadina Daboja, the Kishimoshare, and the Semla.
And so, watching one's mind and taking over one's mind or watching over one's mind is very important, and making sure that these delusions doesn't arise in our mind, is very important.
Okay. 대강도 나주기 시당은 로다나들에다 대주도가 하고 그러나 양양도 랍고야 되고 있는 것 좀 보이는 게 랍되게 그래서.
So that's just the general teachings of the Buddhism, and it's something that's very beneficial, and that's why I'm just repeating again and again.
Okay, don't think Geshe is again. It's very important. We have to think more again and again, or more again and again. Okay. What is it? Then I go to the Shuloka to Jedi Bas. Very good.
And so today we're going to go with starting from verse 69 on the Wheel of Sharp Weapon text.
Okay. The Jelai Sheni Dongrencho, Jamba Chuji Sheni, Kencholo. Ponjo Topingalan Shemse, Tadashimina Marayas.
Says, although the gods give me happiness, I worship evil spirits. Although the Dharma guides me, I deceive the three jewels. Roar and thunder on the head of the destroyer of false construction, mortally strike at the heart of the butcher, the enemy ego.
Teneda Raja Namroa Savi Dunga Jinavi, Tapena Savi Dunga, Mo Savi Dunga Jinavi Cup, Penachil, Lula, Lapa, you want to Tendri, Sivi, Devanes, and then the Shukanda, Deva Kadi Shuanata, Lama Kunchoki, Garden, Natural Teneta Shumai Barres.
So every happiness that we experience, is the result, of our virtuous practice. Every happiness. So that includes even like a cool breeze during a summertime. When you're feeling very hot, and then you feel the cool breeze, and with that you experience some kind of happiness, right? Even that kind of happiness, that you gain from the cool breeze in summertime, is the result of virtuous action, which comes through the kindness of the three jewels and the guru.
Yenayang Tuzu Mashiva Chene, Taduchi, Ta, Dunje Dangrova, and then Jitimela, Tenelan Treasure, Tanzo Lade, Trelinger Wanduk, Pemuchiman, do everything also.
So although that is the case, many of us don't understand that, and then we worship the evil spirits for our happinesses. So in order to have a success, in order to have some happinesses, then we make offerings and so forth to the evil spirits.
Teneda Gonzon Kovi Dungan Tadol and Reba Shengeda Tambi Chu, and then Sanjay can Chumi, Kendikajum, Tesum Rita. Tendo Surgeon the Suma, that's what Pashani, Tedolagic, that Karo. Kencho, Lova de Kana Jobson, Kani Jobson Chase or Mato Tela, and Jichi Kangan Chivikalaya, and then the Lord of that general.
And so, like I said, all the happiness comes from our virtuous action, which is, which happens, which is created through the kindness of the Guru and the three jewels, right? So, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, is the ultimate object of refuge. So, if we take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, then that's all we need, for all the happinesses that we want. Yeah? But most of the time we say, okay, I take refuge in the Buddha, and that's only like verbally we take refuge. Verbally we take refuge by reciting the refuge formulas, right? But in the reality, when we fall into problems, then we always seek refuge in the worldly gods, the evil spirits, and so forth.
Tende da tende che de 가르나 so 다도 말이 봐. 대원거래 다 때문에 와서 그래서 용도 와서.
And that also, is because of the self-cherishing attitude or self-grasping ignorance, and we should overcome that.
tende da 나도 상제된 가서 주때 뭐 벌어 왔다. 나도 상제 주때 뭐 상제 좀 내려와서. 대라 수지가 말이 와서 여러
And so the teacher, the ultimate teacher is Buddha Shakyamuni, Buddha, right? In this case, in this era, we can say Buddha Shakyamuni, right? So can there be any better teacher than Buddha Shakyamuni?
댕gel에 뭐 마음을 요 말이 와서. 그리고 상제 주때 뭐 걸어를 와서.
Because he's the founder, of the refuge, right? Or the founder of the teachings of the Buddha, or Buddhism, right? And so therefore, there cannot be any better teacher than him. There wasn't any better, and there will never be any better than him, right?
tende 인상 다 대상한소 다지 휴대 때되는데 뭐보지게 다 장부름 제라야 뭐고 잡는 담라 지금 전도 빠진 동동 위절에 근데 시다지 오는 장부진데 배우는 양 공부 빠진 연도 거래 양 전도最양 시제소 다시 도반담을 사용 세계로 와서 가래 나서는 오늘 장부름 지금 노데 와서 또 세계로 와서 전 세계로 해서
and so there's this particular protector called Shugden that's been worshipped by many Buddhist followers, and His Holiness has been trying to ban on that because of the the sectarism, that's been caused by that, and so these people who follow that, they're always going against His Holiness, saying bad things to His Holiness, about His Holiness, and so forth. So you might hear that, during the time when His Holiness visits, in the fall, and you shouldn't be thinking that His Holiness is wrong and so forth like that.
아니 군주나라 생행 가서 배회가 잡았던데 다른 산지 좀 되어 나가서 치네 요즘 땅에 매서들 계셔야 되거든요. 다 산지 좀 되는 한 요마로 와서.
So for this time, this modern time, right? Buddha Shakyamuni, and for this modern time, or for this current time, His Holiness is the best teacher. There cannot be anybody who's better than him in Buddhist teaching, right? So they are very strong with that belief that they said that even if Buddha Shakyamuni were to come in person and tell them that that's wrong to do, then they said they would still not stop it.
니는 앞에는 손도 와서 시당 소수 대제가 상지에 가려 되나 군주 상지에 가려 말했다. 란데 동네 된지를 틀려주는 거를 해서 된다 그래서 그리고 공사 도저를 납대 그래서 봐.
And so just like it says here, and although the gods give me happiness, so gods here are referring to the Buddha, right? Buddha and like His Holiness, the teacher, who give us the teachings, through that we practice Dharma, and through that, then we get the happiness, right? So they show us how to practice the virtue, and through practicing that, then we achieve the happiness, right? So actually, they're the one who give us the happiness. But we take we worship or take refuge in the evil spirits like this protector.
뭐 된지 말자 빼차샤 와이나. 나 그거 오장원도 장원을 잘라 다 점마마시에서 군주 먹은 다음에 자그래 셔나서 오늘 자그래 그러더라. 만돈 로이는 근데 지금 담아서 오늘 셔나 군주 생애들을 납고 그러더라. 점마마시에서.
And so these people who are against His Holiness, they always go on a strike, and every time His Holiness is around, and then they always they say this slogan, kind of a slogan, says don't lie, you are a liar, and so forth. So they're telling His Holiness lying about this protector.
And that take logic of the Shiva Shetanda logic remote Ngawang Kaptan and yours.
And so this issue has been there since the time of the fifth Dalai Lama.
yinbayina 다 간지 단다 장물이 가르치는 까와르스나 간지 장물음식이 그러는 거래 머리금 던져다 출루 차다 던져 쳤다래가 지고 들어봐.
So the reason why His Holiness, put a stop on this, try to ban it, is because, like I said, of the sectarism. Yeah? So, so he's working on, making all the people come together, work together, be harmonious, human beings and all the people and in all the religions.
이 라버도 가서 배워라야 출루만 하고 시그래. 돈소 차다 던져 용와. 장물음식 출루면 나게 그래서.
And especially in the Tibetan Buddhism, we have 4 different traditions of Tibetan Buddhism, right? Yeah, so they're like seen as totally, completely different, from each other. But that's not the case, and so, His Holiness is working very hard, to bring these 4 traditions, together, to live harmoniously.
근데다 대체와라 안다 그 내가 지금 왔다.
And so this protector causes harm, to the one, who does that, or he causes this, sectarism.
간데는 나 장물음식이랑 거 송조를 해서 다른 살아야 다 배미겠지 그러고 라모사만 되면 다 내가 자동이 제다 내가 안에 출름 던져게 제다는 그런 범송송에 뒤갑라야 게루바 영역이 아니 다 잡아만 보지 내가 용마 배워서 가지들으나 내가 용마는 휴대가 같이 그래서 같이 두진 콘솔이야 다 바로 시안한 거에서 와.
And so His Holiness himself, said this during the time when they, they did like 100,000 prayers and 100,000 offerings, 100,000 prayers to Padmasambhava Guru Rinpoche, who is the founder of the Nyingma tradition, and so they were making offerings, to Padmasambhava and reciting the prayers, so like maybe a couple of 100,000 times. So it's called 100,000 offerings. So there was 100,000 offerings held for Padmasambhava, and during that time, many of the Geluk monks were not able to come, and so they said if they were to come and participate in that ceremony, then this protector will cause harm to them.
대내 장물음식 다 대갑 장물음식 고난게 팅갈에 당겨서 아니 독바사니 다 할라지 못한다 뭐라지네 가지 어디 yapon 매봐 다 세월에 들어와 대전에 가지 다 가지 가서 내던들 용어도 가지 내는데 어스 송마도 장 땡초마도 라비오 말 수치라.
And so this protector, is very particular about the Geluk tradition. So, don't want to go into the Nyingma tradition or other traditions. So, it says that the people, because they're worshiping this protector, so therefore they don't dare to go, go to the ceremonies held by the other tradition, or offering, to the Buddha of other traditions. And and then His Holiness, found that out, and he investigated on that, and then he found that this was not very helpful, not very good, and then he investigated further by checking, with the deities and with the divinations and so forth. Then he found that it was harmful. He didn't say it's bad, but he said it was harmful.
오 근데 이마다 근데 제네 가지 너는 마 장물음식 마 싸다치는 거서 저는 때 조말 쓰지 라비오 말도 나는 코도 때 조말 출루라고 때문에 라기도 왔어. 좀 던자래.
And so His Holiness, said that this is harmful. So this worshiping to this protector becomes harmful. It becomes harmful, but didn't say that you cannot worship. So then these people, and they are going against his, saying that he is not allowing us to worship him. That's not the case. That's not truth. He didn't say you cannot worship. He said it's harmful.
장물음식에 가지 휴대 땡게 지는 가서 원시가 내 마용. 되게 실상 나도 배게 따들은 내가 라버트 니텔라 내가 그래서 내가 마음 송에서 봐.
And so the only thing he banned it, from doing is coming to the initiations that he's giving. So those of you who are worshiping this protector, please don't come and receive initiation from me. And he said that is causing harm, to the the rules and regulations that they are trying to set, for the Tibet or Tibetans, and to his life also. So therefore, he banned, for those from coming to the initiation, receive initiation. So during the time, he would say, so those of you who are here, worshiping this protector, please, don't take initiation from me.
근데 인사 가르는데 지나도 벽에 고에 말아왔어. 마음이 벽에는 라고 그래. 인지나 라베티 다주 마음보 주마장자진의 것도 대응 것으로 봐. 키운 것으로.
So this is all said in Tibetan, and many of you don't understand, and so that then there's a lot of wrong translations given in English.
그러봐. 건조 가르라겠나. 만조 전주 슝기 지금 비용도 만들어 토상계 책임도 이차 책임도 건조 잡아치기도 왔어. 또 차상 주마장자래서.
So they're also saying that they're not given any rights, any freedom, to do their practice. So the exile government, the Tibetan exile government, is not giving them any rights or any independence, to do their practice. That's not true also.
어떤데다 같이 시당할 때 제거 대양 산지정을 배우다 저도 들이 마음 동의 전도 때 도나 연하면 몇이 된데 마음 모여래네. 도도라지 간지 의지도 두서려 들어봐.
And so I just mentioned this because you might encounter these people who are going on a strike, against His Holiness during the time when he comes to visit us here.
어ppe 들이 반사 가세. 간지 다 콘조 간지 지금 다지 너실로서 차산 직대면 직대면다 고소 하려고 왔다 간도 동네에서라고 이랬을 거지. 앵그마 간지 지 가서 샘진식 뭐는 그 왕가 다 동네랬지. 대야지 가래 아니 지금 소마서 그놈도 된들 담았다 잡아든지 말이서 그런 게 제대로 받대서 했나?
And so that's what we're talking about, right? So although the gods give me the happiness, right? So but we worship the evil spirits. And so this protector although it's called Dharma protector, but it is actually the worldly protector and the worldly god. It says it's a demon, who was born, who was a monk in his previous life, but because of his wrong prayers, he was born as a demon. But this demon was, caught and assigned to protect such and such and so forth. So that's how he became a protector.
What that why maybe you think why he talk about that, but because I'll give you more information now. It's only coming to October. They all come here. You can see many movements, banners. He said, what's going on? But because this is also politics, it's not just religion, it's politics. It's just making politics. It's also beyond for them, it's Chinese government. Chinese government. The proof is the one, the old monk. It's not Western, the monk who went to the Tibet. He gave the lecture for them. Who lives the Tibetan? Only listen the Chinese government. You don't need to listen anyone. We live in the United States. We only listen to what Obama said. We don't want to listen anyone. Usually, who's Tibetans? We in exile, we listen his Tibetan or the exile government or his own Dalai Lama. This is they say. We don't. No. Tibetan doesn't say that. We saw it's you read that, but it's also politics. It's not. A lot of Western is there. A lot of Western, I don't know, it's monks, real monks and nuns. You can see the lot of monks. They don't know also real, exactly the reason, the situation, like brainwash, right? Therefore, we don't need to also fight for them. We don't need to fight, but we need to understand the reality. I was in Germany, also they protest that. Someone asked His Holiness, what do you think? He said, it's good, they all use the Maju Rama Pechitawaris. And I love good in Langere, Chemaji Consa Ramaris,
So they're using their freedom rights, so because they have the right to say it, they can say it. That's His Holiness said they're just using their freedom rights, so rights, rights of the freedom. And he said, whatever I had to say is my responsibility, and what they want to do is their responsibility. So it was actually the Tibetan monk, right? And so some of the Tibetan monks who told the story, to the Westerners, and then Westerners, they just believe in that, and then now they're also, coming on the side of those Tibetans, or monks and Tibetans, who are protecting this, who are worshiping this protector. And when His Holiness gives, the explanation about that, they don't listen to it. So there are Tibetans and Westerners as well, Caucasians and Westerners and other foreigners in that group as well. So you might see this group of people, and then you say, how come there are Tibetans going against His Holiness? Don't have to be so surprised about that.
Okay. Karna 시제도 고요도 가상 앞에네 코로나도 내가 지는 것도 잠거리 배배 오거나 지금 내가 지금 재미질래가 저같은 것도 나 코로 가면 돼 와서 자갈라 배시고 건설이야 시제로 이게 되면도 공부하는 조직 되면도 납달라 수면 되는데 코로 가면 돼 와서 또 자도 좀 자자해서.
So one of the lady, who was involved in organizing the teaching for His Holiness, the teaching by His Holiness in Germany, asked me that they cannot be blamed, for what they're doing, for the strikes and slogans that they're chanting and so forth. So they're not to be blamed either, because they told the foreigners or Westerners that they are not given a right in India. Like the Tibetan and the exile government doesn't give them a right. They don't get permission to come to go to the foreign countries like USA and so forth, and they don't get permission to get into the monasteries and so forth. So it's not really true, and they're not given any. There's no school that they can admit to study and so forth. So this is the kind of stories they told people, but that's not true at all.
Okay. 근데 실제 마모질이야 내가 뭔데다 하고 지금 고떤 고비다 도바사들 뭐 용기로 들어와.
And so there are many Westerners who don't understand, and they get confused about these.
코도 공부하는 코도 시비 밥에서 나고 그래서 대피와 말이 공부하느라 길로와리 얘는 땡이 가서 맨데 땡게도 땡면 길로와리 길로네 간다 맞땡게도 마와래서 근데 땡게도 그래서 그만 파 되면서 말해서 비샤와 말해서 비오 말해.
So in the big monasteries, so now when His Holiness announced about that, then they all put a ban on that. So they stopped worshiping this protector. And but there are again some stubborn ones, right? So who say no, we can't stop that. We have to keep on worshiping this protector, even though it is His Holiness who says it. So they just keep on practicing. And then now, so who should we listen to, right? Should we protect? I mean, should we worship or should we not worship? And then they voted. So whoever, they voted. So the people who listened to His Holiness, of course, obviously came out more. And then there were more people who said, oh, we should not worship. So they won, right? So when they won, then the monastery, the general rule becomes that no, we cannot worship, this protector, in the monastery. And then those who wants to worship, now they have no place there. So they just left themselves. They were not like kicked out or chased away. They just left themselves.
어디서 지나서 인지마서 배에 모형에서도 하고 매다 하는 던도지. 대서 하고는 야본도 그러와.
And so because you don't know the real situation about this case, and therefore I thought it would be good if you knew a little bit about it.
Okay. Maybe you think, why he talk about like that? No. So, down the thing, Wangi, only each other.
And so this is again we're talking about when it came about, when we talked about listening to the teachers, right, the Buddha, and then listening to the worldly gods. So the worldly gods, can only give us temporary solution for short time only, but it is the Buddha, like His Holiness and so forth, who gives us the real happiness.
Okay. Then if you like to, you can see the YouTube, a lot of things going on. If you don't like, just forgot. But when you see, oh yeah, Geshe told us, yeah, oh yeah, that's happened. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You have a question?
What does the protector want?
It's not the protector, it's the worshippers. Worshipper of that protector.
What do they want?
They don't want His Holiness, to bend it. They don't want His Holiness, to tell people that it is not good to practice that. So His Holiness is saying it's not good to practice that because that causes sectarism. And so now His Holiness said that. So these people say no, that's not right to say like that. We should be allowed, to do the practice. So His Holiness, just poured out, his thoughts, his suggestion, his advice. But whether you want to do it or not, it's up to you. He has given that freedom. He didn't say you cannot do or you must do. And so in the reality there shouldn't be any problems, but many people making this a problem again, like I said, because of the politics reason and so forth. So there's the biggest, one of the biggest group led by Geshe Tenley. It's called Geshe Tenley. It's Geshe Tenley Gyatso in England. So he's one of the very very knowledgeable, very well educated Geshe, and holding the highest degree of Geshe, and so he's one of the lead practitioner of that protector. And His Holiness never says bad about him. He always says, "No, Geshe Tenley Gyatso is a very very knowledgeable person, very humble and so forth, very good practitioner and so forth."
Oh, I don't know now. Like that. Anyway, they're not confused. Even you see that, okay? Therefore, I'll give you a little bit rough for you. Otherwise, you guys. Maybe do you guys saw?
I saw it on his website when he was in Germany. They mentioned it.
Oh, they mentioned
And Dalai, the spokespersons, just talked about it, and there's nothing to hide.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Yeah. Even the guy, he come to the public place. He asked a question. His Holiness is going to give them answer. He doesn't listen. Then how become more clear? If he listens that answer, then more people can more clean. But they don't want to listen. Therefore, the main thing is not Dharma protector. All special Westerns, they studied Buddhism maybe 34 years. Nothing special, very impressed. But I don't know how they all brainwashed something. Maybe wrong. Anyway, they're like that. Even they looked at the monks, nuns. It's not real. You can see next time, their clothes. You can see already my robe and their robe, same or not. They have some special robe. We can see, oh, this is their monk, this is their monk. Then we can see monk, the robes. Like that, people say this is not monk. They just bought the robes.
So you understand about that part?
You understand?
So there's a way of wearing the robe. So the robe is like a skirt, It's a very long stretch, like a skirt, but there's certain foldings. So there's a two folding on this side, and then that symbolizes method and wisdom, and then there's one folding here and a one folding in the back and so forth. So you tie it nicely, And so these people who are wearing the monk's robe, they don't have a proper folding, so you can tell from that they are not real monks, They're just given a robe to wear just to protest about it, So,
Would we notice that?
huh?
Would we notice?
Yeah, well, of course you have to know whether. So we know. So like Geshe will know, I will know that because that's the way people, you wouldn't know. You would think they are real monk,
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Also the colors not real like this. Right? They don't know.
It's not a real, it's just supposed to be like a maroon color, but they have a different color also sometimes.
Like that, when we see that, look like very, very strong.
So of course, when we see that, we shouldn't be, hating them. Don't ever do that. So don't hate them. They are also object of compassion. So have compassion for them as well. So if they understand the reality, what's the real issue about that, then they might understand. But maybe they just only hear one side of the story, and then just follow that.
Okay, like that. Anyway, don't think why you talk about that. This is also but you guys not spice like that. Okay. Then any other questions? Not their questions, maybe Dharma questions. we don't want to talk more what we call gossips.
I have a question. Sometimes, what if other people have the same reaction that when I experience real goodness, real happiness, I run away from it really fast. It's like I have the experience of it, and I'm happy, and then I'll go and I'll have a piece of chocolate or something. It's like there's something about it that's so overwhelming to me that I don't really know why I run away from it. Do you feel that ever?
You must be stupid. No, just kidding. To run away from it.
Is it just that my mind goes back into a habit, or?
So you said you experience some happiness?
Yeah.
Like what kind of happiness?
Like more happiness, like just.
For example.
It's if I'm doing some of the practices, or if I'm thinking of my mother, or just feeling real deeper love for someone, and I'm very quiet, and everything slows down and becomes just so relaxed, and there's a tangible feeling of something. I don't know how to describe it other than to say it's love, and like there's nothing I need to do. And it's not that I want to stay there or run away from it, but it only lasts for a certain length of time, and then.
So you're not really running away, but it just goes away.
It does go away.
Yeah.
But then once it goes away, maybe I'm looking for it to come back again, but it feels more like I'm running away from it.
No, you're allowed to work that. 나 모나스나 땅에서 이제 잠백이 되어져라. 잠박 분배 되어져라. 나랑에 말라 잠박 분배 되어져라. 디스 거다. 됐다 서서 잠박 가서 최종을 하래 거라. 잠박 최종을 하래 거라.
대단한 가서 슈 전부 매완자 노발라도 이해도 그래서. 다 야는 거 된대서는 겁나. 아니 슈마 슈체네 예면동이 작을서.
So, like we said, like we discussed about the happiness, being the result of the virtuous action. And so every happiness that we experience is the result of virtuous action. So because it's a result of virtuous action, and the virtuous action is the cause of that happiness, so how long that happiness is going to last depends on how strong the cause is, how strong the virtue is. And like in your case, the happiness of love towards your mother or towards any sentient being, yeah, that's the real happiness. That happiness always stays as happiness. That's the real happiness, by the way. But anyway, so that happiness, how long that lasts also depends on how strong your love is. And so if you can hold that long, as long as you can hold that love towards a sentient being or your mother, that long, the happiness will be there. So if it goes away, maybe then that means your love is not strong enough. So you have to keep on meditating on love towards sentient beings, toward your mother, and so forth. Then your happiness will last for a longer time.
That makes sense. But I think when it goes away, I get angry that it's gone away. That's what happens.
Yeah. So instead of getting angry, you should try to develop more love towards other sentient beings by thinking about their conditions.
Oh, so during that time, also maybe don't do it the moment that time. Try to another time, okay? Also don't push too much. You have the problem, then also do some another practice. Then again they come back. Otherwise, sometimes you try, then it doesn't work, then they're angry, right? Therefore, we need to be very skillful, very skillful in the practice. Okay? Then how much you have strong, more, then never go away. Always there. Then more develop. Then you more happy. Then you relax here. Okay? Okay? Oh, that didn't matter. That I got the take all young. Tanang also Sanyama love the Shios, Launam Day. They tell you Ponka song raising. I'm the Yamli Children, Ponka Duchari, Tuchano Ducha, Lapu Martha. Consusana, that Chondo can get to talk to Jalago Yapomat Lacote, tomorrow was.
So again, a little bit clarification on that, the protector. Again. So, like, I didn't mention it earlier, but His Holiness himself used to used to worship this protector. In this lifetime, he worshipped this protector because his teacher, Tejang Rinpoche, was worshipping. And Tejang Rinpoche was worshipping that, so Tejang Rinpoche gave him the transmission, and then advised him to do the practice, and he did it. So, and then Tejang Rinpoche got it from his teacher, Pabongo Rinpoche. And now they're saying, these people are saying that His Holiness is banning people from studying through these teachers. It's not. That's not true, because like in our case, we are studying the liberation in the palm of your hand, right, on the Sundays, and so that is the text written or taught by Pabongo Rinpoche. Of course, written by Tejang Rinpoche, but was taught by Pabongo Rinpoche, who is worshipper of this protector. So it's called Shukden. So again, that's what they're saying. So that's not true again. Also, so we're not like saying that you cannot, study from these teachers. No, we're not saying that either.
And the better team will handle and the Washima Pendula Pimich the Japan Rwana, now better than the Pulu was the better than yours.
So even Pabongo Rinpoche himself has said that if you rely on the worldly gods and the evil spirits, to be protected from the lower realms and so forth, then you don't become even a Buddhist. So you even fail to be Buddhist, if you worship, to the evil spirits and worldly gods, for the benefit of future lives.
And the Chamber Lavana was, and the Sanjik and the Jobs and Kabel Lavjala, and then Jitimbe, Lala, and the Jawa Pension, the Pemish, the Jabson, or two summers.
So the reason why we take refuge in the three jewel is to be protected from the three lower realms. So in this life, we're okay, right? We don't have to worry about it. We don't have to take refuge. We're taking refuge for the future lives, right? And so that's why we take refuge for to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And so that's the purpose of taking refuge. And so if it is in the teaching itself, it says for the advice on what to do and what not to do. It says what not to do is that once you have taken refuge in the three jewels, you should not take refuge in the worldly gods or the evil spirits. So that's one of the precepts of taking refuge.
Okay. Authentic. Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm a little confused.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
No, you come with a bit more clear.
So if the protector is a worldly god, why would His Holiness have ever practiced a teaching or transmission or something having to do with this individual or whatever it is?
제가 뭐든지 내가 너무 뭐 가서 그러다 단다 세대가 지금 발전시켜도 되게 제대로 잡 속여서 또 속여서 되게 제대로 했어. 이때 미치 발전으로 써야.
So like again, then it's not like taking refuge. So His Holiness, like worship means like making offerings, and then making a request, to do certain things like, I want to do this practice. There might be so many obstacles they may come on this practice. So in order to eradicate, in order to remove that obstacles, I'm going to make a request to this protector, to help me to remove these obstacles. So you can do that. That you can do, and so that's what it was used for. So they were making a request, to this protector to clear away all the obstacles in your practice. So you can. So this is what they're used for. And again, this is the worldly god or the evil spirits. They were doing bad things, right? So they were caught, and they were subdued, and then they were appointed, to do such and such, activities. So that's all the protectors like that. And all the worldly protectors are like that. They were like a very, very powerful evil spirits or worldly gods, that they were subdued, and then they said is, they were like chained by a commitment. So they were like, told to do this and this, by like Padmasambhava did a lot, of these things to many protectors. Yeah. That not by Padmasambhava, but other practitioners, from the Geluk tradition, for the Shukdeya.
He wasn't that he was just an evil spirit. He wasn't actually. They said he wasn't really subdued by the Buddha. They just said he was thought to have been subdued.
Yeah, so that's because of him being a practitioner of that tradition in his previous life. Yeah. 그거 담을 거 말했어, 그거. 죽는 거 담을 거 왔을 때 이렇게 좀 고만 용사.
담을 거래. 나 가지는 지금 사자네 거 담을 거. 다처럼 내가 주주제. 내가 제 모양스. 랭게 레칸도 어때? 담을 거 사자대. 두정으로 봤어.
So so not in that particular, not for that particular task, of protecting, but he was, subdued. So he came by, and then so and so practitioner in Tashilumbu, saw that, and then he subdued him, and then told him to do to become a protector like that. So he was, kind of subdued also. At one point, yeah. And then he broke, and then later, then again he was worshipped, for this, for different kind of tasks, yeah.
So this protector is not a bad protector, right?
소마디 다 가로 너 제와시마 편제도 잡는 거 독자 레트로와
맞다. 소마디 독자 가르치는 땡겨면서 왔다. 거네.
소마디 땜바이나 다 대라 땜베가 다 그런 요라만 보이나 와다. 근데 맞다 달라 그랬어. 근데 줄은 터는다. 어tende시도 고 교회 와서 맞았어.
Well, in a bad, in a sense, that he causes sectarism.
And what did
대마데 양 삼성 그 mennyom시들 나와지 그랬어.
Schism or sectarism, yes, or like, say this is like a sect,
Yeah.
So he says, that's, there were many suggestions about, using the 4 different traditions as 4 different sects, so they say that's, when you say sex, it sounds like it's like separately, completely separate from each other. It's not like that. So if you're a Gelug, you cannot be Nyingma. If you're Nyingma, you cannot be Kagyu and like that. It's not like that. When you use the word sect, many people use it in the translation, they use a sect. Then we say we'd rather use a tradition than a sect. Because if you say sect, then it's like a completely separate thing, It's not like that. Even if you're a Gelug, you can still, worship or take refuge in Padmasambhava and study under him and so forth like that. So anyway, so that's the word. And so Geshe was saying that if you worship this protector and only the Gelug tradition, Gelug tradition practitioners will do that, and then he will not be happy if you go and receive teaching from the Nyingma tradition, and then he will harm you actually. He will harm you, So you couldn't, So it's very strange. Like it's not like a person coming and holding you and beating you. It's not like they're harming, But in some way it got harmed, So it's invisibly, Right. I mean, when most of the then then sort of no gorda. No gorda. That he chevered gorda.
Jealous God.
Yeah.
And Gemela, yeah,
that's evil spirit, yeah.
Jealous God.
Or it's actually hungry ghost, and then jealous God is the quality of that hungry ghost.
아니 당고름 제 홍술 제메라 가져놓을 거라요. 아니 배와 아니 무침마들에다 도용도스 아니 라가 놓거든 저거 놓거든 아니 휴대가 놓거든 라가 먹으려거든 근데 이자 무침마야 뇽추들어야 근데 지가서 왔어 근데 고마 먹을 때 당고를 야보면서 그랬어.
So again, this is not a very obvious thing, So it's a hidden, kind of a hidden thing, It's not obvious that you can see, and like evil spirits, we believe in evil spirits, but have we really seen it? No, really. So we can get harmed by evil spirit, but it's not like a physical harm, I mean, I don't know, spiritually or however you describe it, you get harmed. So then also in Tibetan tradition we have a dice divination. So when the lamas will do a divination, and they will throw a dice and say, oh, okay, you're getting harmed by such and such evil spirit. So you have to do such and such practice, to get rid of it. And so yeah. Then His Holiness says in India, a place called Hongsur, there's a Tibetan settlement, the Tibetan in exile, and there's a settlement in Hongsur, and they came, to seek advice from His Holiness, and that's, I'm getting advice and harm from such and such evil spirit, such and such, the Dharma protectors, and so forth. So can you do it? So they mentioned about this also. So, I'm getting harmed by the Dojo Shukden. So can you give me some practices? So that means like he's causing harm also.
상상도 로그는 해야 되는 거였어 가지고 말어대 안 될지 로또다 던져 제가 있는 것도 돈 두개 말이나 다르거든요. 여기서 남발이랑 계속들이 여기서
So I mean, also there are certain things like we get rashes in our body, and in Tibetan some people they believe there's a harm caused by nagas. You get some kind of rashes, and then there was so there was this story I just was telling Gishla in Kapan Monastery. There was a tree. So whoever passes by that tree, and if they get touched by a leaf, they get bad rashes in their body. Anybody, and so people say there's a naga there. It's the naga. It's naga causing that that rashes, but actually it's the tree. It's a tree. It's the same kind of. There's a similar kind of tree in other place. That tree doesn't do, right? So this tree does that. So it's the same kind of tree other places doesn't do. If it's just a tree, then you can say yes, it's just a tree, and then other trees should do also. But no, other trees don't do that. Only this tree does it. And so whoever passes by, so every time they're like duck and make sure that you don't get touched by these leaves, because whoever they, and there was this one of the Rinpoche. He's a young Rinpoche, a young, not like a kid, but he's a grown up, maybe 20 something years old Rinpoche, And he said, oh, it's in all your mind. There's no naga and nothing. And he just grabbed the tree and chopped it and threw it away. And nothing happened to him.
Okay, like that.
So there's a naga. So they say there's a naga causing harm like that,
Then I miss you, also teacher, but the share I think I'm not Kaja Tetan sure. Kaja young Jabon, Zero, never seen luck and she do it. You're lucky, I can't language.
And then when people die, they do astrology, and then from that they can tell how the person died. I mean, what caused the person to die? We said that death, that happens when your life has exhausted. Your lifespan. If your lifespan is 40 years or 100 years, and that's all you're going to live. There's no way you can live more than that. No matter what you do, you can't expend more than that. That's your life. The limit of your life is that. And when that comes, you will die. Then that's because But sometimes people die and it's called untimely death. So like your life, maybe your lifespan is for 80, but you die at 40. So that is caused by some kind of it could be caused by some kind of evil spirit and some other different conditions, right? So one of the conditions that can cause the untimely death is the evil spirit also. And all the nagas, so that can cause you to become sick, and then that sickness kills you, and so that is untimely death. You didn't live the full life, you died before the time of before your life ended.
Okay, now it's time. Not talk more. Okay, you don't need to more superstition. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Scary stuff for Halloween.
Fast, okay, fast. Yeah. Page 39. Sashi poki jukshi meto tram re-rubbling shi ni degyan padi san fishing doji meto wargi drokun nam dagsing jo parsho jesu lame kushe raptenching nam kartrim le chojorti rada lob san tempe dro meso samgi drowe munsa chadu ne yorchi Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kam Niryatayami. From my two collections, vast is space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time. May I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds, wisdom, eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach the state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my life's minutiae. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings. May I please all the Buddhists by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings. With the points of the path as I have discerned them, may I uphold Buddhist teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread or once spread have declined, may I be this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace and be nourished for a long time. By even this great course to enlightenment completed due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhists and their children, may all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhists. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones and may oceans of prosperity in that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy. May Lord Tenzin Gyatso Shenrezig remain in life till samsara zem. Page 49. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manu's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please live long. And page 57. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha state, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious supreme Bodhi mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. Mig me seve chen chen resi, tri me kempe, wang po jam peyam, gong chen kempe, sung yen song kapa.
Thank you very much, Geshe. Thanks, Namcho, for translating. Very quick announcements tonight. We've got Venerable Jampa teaching tomorrow night, Feng Shui. I can't remember the exact what did I say? Okay. I'm prone to say wrong numbers at the moment. In any case, from 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock tomorrow night, the usual time we would have had meditation class. But that's that, and then he has his workshop this coming weekend. You don't have to attend one day to attend the other days. If you can't attend the Saturday, still very welcome to come attend the Sunday. It's just a donation of $20, really nothing significant there. And we will ask that people please bring their own lunches. If you come, we're not going to do a potluck. We've got the seniors picnic coming up on the 20th of September. Just a little note on the calendar, drop by if you can come and help. It'll be probably from between 11 and 4. It would be great if you could just stop by, handing out tea, cleaning up plates, just be of help. And then the two last things, Amazon wish list, we still have our doors, so we'd love for some sponsorships so that we can get those screen doors in before the winter comes. And then last one is, I don't know if we can still take registrations with Geshe teaching up at Milarepa Center, but it's going to be wonderful, and me and Doug and Judy, there's a bunch of us that are going, and thanks Geshe for doing that. Okay.